When the USO first announced that one of the hottest tickets in comedy is coming to our very humble base here in Yokosuka, Japan, like many other people, I lost my mind. I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan. Not only have I seen so many comedians, including the one and only Dave Chappelle live in Tokyo, but I actually actively participate in open mic nights all over Tokyo, all over Yokohama, and I go to small events where people don't know me. That way, if I bomb, like, it doesn't follow me back to the base. But before I go any further, let me go ahead and say huge shout out to the USO for bringing, again, such a hot ticket to our wonderful military community. Thank you to all the volunteers at the USO for making it a really, really great event and for everyone. So let's get started. Aircraft flying over, hold on. So finally, the USO posted the link saying, hey, you can get your tickets here for free. I had my iPhone and my iPad. I typed in my information, and then I hit register. And it was like, bam, error. So the server obviously crashed because there were so many people trying to get these tickets at the same time. But if you have any experience purchasing like San Diego Comic-Con tickets or really any big events, you know, you just got to keep trying. So I'm on my iPhone hitting refresh and register, literally refresh, register, refresh, register, refresh, register. And I'm on my iPad doing the same thing, refresh, register, refresh, register. My ticket to my iPad was set to the second showing. My iPhone was set to the first showing. So I'm literally just going like this. And it's crashing, it's crashing, it's crashing. Finally, after maybe like, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 tries, boom, my cell phone says, hey, congratulations, you are registered for the first showing. I was like, oh my God, I could not believe it. Obviously, there were a lot of people frustrated because the website wasn't working for them. Unfortunately, a lot of people weren't able to get tickets. Not only were they selling out fast, the server was also crashing constantly. And people were either randomly getting tickets just from trying, like a bunch of times, or had some friends who woke up the next day at like 3 a.m. and managed to get tickets. So it really was hit or miss with the servers. But the wild part is a lot of people were blaming the USO for the capabilities of their servers. Server crashes happen with the biggest companies. Facebook servers crash. And that's what happens when a sudden influx of traffic just comes through. And obviously, this is a big event, especially for such a small, humble base like our military community here. And the amount of people that were telling the USO, oh, fix your or whatever, it wasn't right, you know? And then people started making some random suggestions that in a perfect world, yeah, that would work out. But like one of the suggestions was to have it at the football field. It's the middle of winter. Jo KOY has other shows he has to worry about. He just can't, you know, bundle up and hope he doesn't get sick. It's an 18 and older show. Like, do you know how many people would be like, my son or daughter overheard him cursing and I'm not happy with that? You know what I mean? Like, you can't please everyone. There were people suggesting the aircraft carrier, which I think they're confusing with like a cruise ship. You know what I mean? Like, this is still a military base. The military has to be able to deploy at a moment's notice. How weird would it be if the US couldn't respond because the ship was set up to host a comedy tour? You know what I'm saying? The Fleet Theater, where it was held at, could probably hold 600, maybe 700, 750 people. There's 25,000 people on this base. There's gonna be some people who unfortunately cannot get a ticket. That is just how life works, unfortunately. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let me get to the good stuff. So as you can see behind me, it is like what time is it? Like 2:30, 2:15? And there's already a line to get these tickets. I'm not surprised. I don't blame them. I myself am here early. I just wanna try and get front row tickets as best as I can. So super excited. Again, USO, thank you so much for hosting this event. We're here in front of the Fleet Theater. Let's go. Yes, sir, that's me.
All right, it's yours for $20.
All right.
Only if I can get this apart. Here's
Thank you. Oh, that's so nice. Let's go front row, girl. Or as close as we can. We can go maybe right here. Are you cool with that? Yeah? Oh yeah, let's go closer. Yeah, good call. Oh, you wanna go right here? You wanna go right here? Yeah! Oh my gosh, this is front row. Let's go! Excuse me. Okay, so we just made it inside and the DJ is bumping. I got my date some beer. I mean, look at this crowd turnout is crazy. Man, I'm so excited. I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but I'm gonna go grab some popcorn. I can't be in a theater without popcorn. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be awesome. Oh, Jo KOY, man, I'm so glad you're here. So I was in line 2 hours before ticket distribution started, and you would line up by your last name. So my last name was Batak, so I land up in the B's. And I finally got my wristbands for me and my date, and one of my boys was in line, and I texted him. I said, yo, Manny, yo, we're gonna sit in the front, right? And he replies back, hell no, I'm not sitting in the front. Like, what if he picks on me and embarrasses me? Like, I don't want to deal with that, and or something along those lines. And I had replied back, Manny, that's the dream. You know, man, I wish I didn't say that, because my dream quickly turned into a nightmare. More on that later. And then finally, Jo KOY came out. You know, the moment we've all been waiting for. We gave him like a standing ovation and all that stuff. We're like, man, can't believe he's here right in front of me. And I'm sitting front row effing seats, man. 5 minutes into the show, there's a dude who I guess was being a little bit, I don't want to say belligerent, because I didn't hear what he said, but I would just use the term eccentric. He's probably being a little bit eccentric. He's probably a little bit too turned, because I don't know him, but I saw him outside in line and also in the alcohol line, and, you know, he was having a good time. Maybe a little bit too much of a good time, because he was high-fiving people, and he was taking, like, massive selfies, which in the right environment is totally cool. Enjoy. That's what you're here to do. But we've already received multiple warnings, like, do not heckle the acts, and he was doing a little bit more than just laughing. Again, seemed like a nice enough guy. I don't know him, but I hope he still enjoyed the rest of his evening despite getting kicked out. So now everyone's kind of on edge, right? But anyways, Jo KOY makes some more jokes. The mood turns back up, you know, and everyone's good. Now we are allowed to take photos. This is the crazy part. We are allowed to take photos. So Jo KOY starts heading toward our direction, and so I'm front row to the right. And as a photographer and a cameraman, I'm like, wow, this is a nice angle. This is a nice light. Let me pull my phone out. Let me snap some pictures. So I take my phone out and I do this. I'm like, bop, bop, like 2 photos. And immediately he points right at me. And he's like, hey, didn't you hear, you know, the memo? Like, didn't you hear everyone? You're not allowed to take video. And my heart immediately drops like, oh my God, am I about to get kicked out? Because I really want to be here. And so I'm like shaking my head like, oh no, I'm taking photos. Like they said I could take photos, and he was like, oh okay, you're taking photos. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, I'm trying to, you know, he's looking me in the eye, and he's like, well, I'm trying to have a serious moment with you right now. You know, like you don't need to be in your phone 24/7. Let's just try to enjoy the moment. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. Let me put my phone away. You know, I'm being scolded by freaking Jo KOY in front of 800 people. And maybe like some of my friends are in the crowd, you know? And so then he's like, what's your name? I was like, my name is Patrick. And he's like, okay, what do you do out here? I said, oh, I'm in IT. Now, I'm not going to share all the jokes he said because he has other USO tours to do. So I'm not going to share, out of respect for his craft, I'm not going to share, you know, too many of his jokes. But, you know, he made some hilarious IT jokes at my expense. And then he goes, how long have you been in the military? I think that's what he asked me. I think he asked me, like, how long have I been in the Navy or something? And I was just like, oh, I'm actually not in the Navy. I'm a contractor. He's like, a contractor? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, it's like, you're not active duty? I was like, no. He's like, dude, you're not even supposed to be in here. Because there was a lot of you know, back and forth about who should be allowed to attend. Should it only be active duty? Should it only be civilians? Or, you know, should it be active duty in their family? And as a contractor, I managed to get tickets, which is completely legal. And so he was joking around like, dude, you're not even supposed to be in here. You know, the crowd's laughing, right? Because everyone knows how big a deal it was. And then he's like, what are you eating, popcorn? I was like, yeah. And he's like, give me that popcorn. So I gave him my popcorn, and he's like, this is active duty popcorn. You can't be eating this. And so, you know, People are dying. I'm laughing. I'm also embarrassed. And then, so he's just making more jokes. I mean, I can't remember everything right now, honestly, because I know, like, I was half laughing and half wanted to melt. People are laughing, and I'm slightly regretting my front row seats now, you know? Oh, I remember he was talking about how, like, when he made the connection that I'm in IT and that I'm addicted to my phone, you know, he's making all these jokes, like, what are you doing, man? Like, zooming in on my dick and stuff. And he's like, you probably are in your phone 24/7, huh? He's like, you just live the 4K. And again, making jokes at my expense. I truly do not know how long he spent on me in that first session, in that first one, but it felt like he was on me for a while. I was like, man, I'm feeling really, I mean, I look over to my date and she's pointing and laughing at me too. Like, I'm like, God dang. You know, so, you know, again, 800 people are laughing at me. The stuff he was saying was really funny. I'm sure it'd be even funnier if it wasn't aimed at me, right? So, you know, I'm like half laughing, half burying my face in my hands. And then finally, he moves on to someone else. And he's making fun of this other person for like 10 seconds. He makes fun of this other person. And then he comes back to me. And I'm just like, yo, what? Wait, time out. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, go find someone else. So then he moves on to like a third guy. Or no, he starts making other jokes. He made some jokes about how much he loves dogs. And then he still managed to include me in his joke about dogs. Again, I wish I could share it with you, but out of respect for his craft, I don't want to steal his thunder because I know he has other tours to do, right? Man, he made so many funny Navy jokes because he toured the ships. He toured the exchange behind me. He made so many, I could not stop crying laughing. So, you know, he's like telling other jokes, and finally he's like done with me. Right, and so I'm like, okay, I think it's safe to eat, you know, my popcorn. So I'm like eating my popcorn, which, by the way, he gave back to me after making some hilarious jokes that I will not repeat on here because I neither have the talent to say it in the manner that he did, and also because my mom watches this channel, so I can't repeat exactly what he said, but they were really funny. And so, you know, I'm like cautiously eating my popcorn. I'm like, okay, good. He's like moved on to like other things. So then he brings up the topic of the service crashing, and he talks about how the USO told him, hey, Mr. Koy, we're sorry to tell you, but the service crashed. And he's like, the service crashed? I'm like, yeah, we don't know, you know, how many people got their tickets or not because of the service crash. And he's like, oh, dang. He's like, well, you know, with the server crash, did y'all talk to Patrick? So it brings me back into the joke because I'm in IT, right? And I'm just like, yo, what? Like, I stopped chewing and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm back in this dude's crosshairs. And he's like, yeah, y'all need to talk to Patrick because even with the server crashing, this dude still got front row seats. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe how this is going right now. Again, so many people are laughing at my expense, but he was really, really funny. But finally, the show ended, right? And everyone's cheering. Everyone's giving him a standing ovation. I'm clapping, despite it hurting my feelings. And you know, I actually even told my date, I was like, hey, if you weren't here, I probably would have run away and cried because the stuff he was saying was really funny, but at the same time, I was hella embarrassed because I have coworkers in the crowd, I got friends in the crowd. Anyways, so he says, hey, he's like, hey, before I go, I'm gonna run up and down, you know, the theater, and I'm gonna try to high five as many people as I can. And he gets off the mic, and people are like high fiving him, and I actually extend my hand to dap him up, and he reaches over and he hugs me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this made all the fun you made of me worth it, because I admire this dude, you know. And so it was really nice. And then what's funny is people that I didn't know were coming up to me after the show, and they're like, Patrick from IT, and they're like high-fiving me as if I agreed to be part of this. Like, I don't know why you're high-fiving me, bro. Like, you were laughing at me not too long ago. But man, it was just such a great show. And again, shout out to the USO for hosting this event. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to Jo KOY for coming out here. Thank you so much. Thank you to both of the comedians who came out here. Thank you to the DJ who came out, just all the volunteers, everyone behind the scenes, MWR, everyone, thank you so much. It was an amazing event. And I really hope he comes back. And yeah, that's it. So I'm actually in Starbucks right now finishing the edit of this Jo KOY video. And I realized I didn't get to ask you guys what your opinion of this whole thing was. I tried to never end a video without giving you guys the opportunity to reach back out to me in the comments below. So did you get to enjoy Jo KOY? What did you think of his performance? Did you struggle getting the tickets? Do you know what happened with that guy who got kicked out? Again, I was too far to see. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to click like, be sure to click subscribe, comment, anything you want to share, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.